Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chabad Benefit Concert and Gala Reception, or as like my 10-year-old Yossi calls it, the Galancert. Over the 12 years we've been talking over classes, podiums, speeches, high holidays, or over the table, hundreds and hundreds of jokes, I'm sure. But one of my favorite I just shared this past Yom Kippur. There is a Jew who's down and out of a job. He will take anything to be able to provide for his family, so he decides that he's going to look at the classified section and he sees that there is an opening for somebody to work as a job in the zoo. Now, he doesn't have any experience working in the zoo, but he had experience working with animals at work, people who acted like animals, that is. So he figured it shouldn't be so bad, and he's going to apply for the job. And he was accepted. And he was told that his job is going to be what he didn't expect, which is that the bear had just died, and they don't have one yet, so they're going to give him a bear costume, and they're going to ask him to dress up as a bear and be in the cage to act like a bear, because a lot of people come to see the bear. And so he does, and he's dressed up in the bear, trying to get a feel of what this job is going to be like, and he says it wasn't bad because he was masked behind a costume, nobody knew who it was. He was fine with it. But then one day he was put together in the same den as the lion. And now he's getting closer and closer. The lion is getting closer and closer, and he's starting to schwitz. And he's starting to daven. He's starting to wonder what's going to happen with me. And as the lion comes closest, he says under his breath the famous last Jewish prayers, Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. And the lion says, Baruch Shem Tevo. When the monkey says, shh, you're going to get us all fired. My friends, on the surface, we may look different. We may have various facades, various costumes, various ways of how we interact. But underneath, we are all the same. We have a pintaliyid, a neshama, a Jewish soul that unites us together. This idea is most personified on Passover, when everybody gets together as a family at a Seder table. Even the Haggadah talks about the 4 sons. And the 4 sons could be one person, it could be many different people, but in general, the Jewish population, the community as a whole, can be regarded into 4 different types of people, from the far right to the far left and everything in between. But we all sit together at the same common Seder table. There's a beautiful story of Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Barditcher, one of the great Hasidic masters, who once decided to walk home on Passover night, before he conducted his first Seder, to hear how the Seder is conducted amongst the simple people, the people who do not have the opportunity to study and the opportunity to even read, for that matter. But he decided to go with his disciples and to hear how they conducted the Seder. And he overhears in one home how somebody was reading the Haggadah. And in the Haggadah where it says, Echad Chacham, there was one son who was wise. The Echad Rasha, there's one son who was wicked. And then the others as well. He's saying the word Echad the same way that a typical person, when says the Shema, says Echad. When we say Shema, as the Schwartzes teach us in Hebrew school, the kids always say when we say Shema, in Hebrew school, you got to say Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. You have to say it with good emphasis. So this person knew the word Echad from the Shema prayer. He knew that that's how you're supposed to say it. But he didn't realize that it's not appropriate for saying it when he was reading Echad Chacham, one is a Chacham, Echad Rasha, one is a wicked son, and so on. So one of the students of Rabbi Yitzchak laughed, thinking that, oh, look how silly this person is by reading it. And Rabbi Yitzchak says, how dare you laugh at someone? I think he's got the message even more than you do. You see, Echad refers to this spark of godliness, the neshama, the pintaliyid that's invested in each and every person. And what might be starkly different between the wise son and the wicked son, what this person emphasized, the approach that Judaism has to everybody in the community, is that what we all have in common is Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha, Echad Tam. We all have that Echad. We all have that Neshamala, that Pintaliyid that unites us. And in fact, what brings us together is what we have in common, not the facades that we have in the exterior. And that, my friends, is what you find in a Chabad house. Please have a look at the screen. In fact, Chabad does not recognize labels, Reform, Conservative, or for that matter, even Orthodox. We believe that labels are for clothing, not for people. Our goal is to make Judaism meaningful in a non-judgmental and a welcome setting that everybody should be able to feel at home. Thank you. And it was the Lubavitcher Rebbe, the spiritual leader of Chabad, who taught that the goal is to be able to rebuild Judaism the very same way those who tried to take it down. Hitler, for example, just like Haman in the story of Purim, they did not recognize labels. Whether somebody was Reform, Conservative, Orthodox, Hasidic, secular, whatever label they might be called, Haman couldn't care less. Hitler couldn't care less. If you're a Jew, you ought to be killed because you're a Jew. Says the Rebbe, the same thing is this is how we're supposed to build Judaism. We don't recognize labels. Labels, like we said, are for clothing. But what we do recognize is that every single person is echad. Every person has a neshama. Every person belongs. Judaism was given to each and everybody together, not to one individual. And this idea that unity is the essence of what is at a Chabad house, the essence of what is a community, I think it's also the essence of what music is about, and why it's so special that we'll do something tonight that's musical. One of my favorite sayings of Reb Nachman of Breslov, he said that if you talk while I talk, you know what that's called? Interrupting. But if you sing while I sing, you know what that's called? Harmony. So tonight, we are going to sit together in harmony. We will enjoy song, meaning, good food, of course. That's one of the reasons why I come to Chabad. And therefore, it's my utter pleasure to invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy a beautiful evening together tonight in harmony. I would like to ask Lee Stanton to please come up to recite a prayer of benediction. Lee? The prayer can be found in your playbill on page 5. Lee will lead it, and everybody can recite it together. Mr. Lee Stanton, the future President of the United States of America. Mark my words.
On Sunday, when I received the call from Rabbi Pesach extending the invitation and the honor to be reciting tonight's blessing the congregation, I smiled and was taken back to the day I first met the rabbi and Chana, and at the time just Davi and Yassi. And I smiled because, and I apologize for those of you that have heard this story about 100 times, but as I practiced for bar mitzvah, having a Catholic father and a mother from Israel, the dynamic between my family and the synagogue or the congregation that we belong to was something that especially my parents weighed heavily. And so we were looking high and far and wide in our beautiful community. Where do we belong? Where do I, as a young, soon-to-be bar mitzvah boy, belong? And we certainly found it. That's an understatement. Here, Chabad of Orange County, and that's why before I do the blessing of the congregation, I just want to thank, and if we could all give Rabbi and Chana a round of applause for another year of leadership. One more year of leadership, one more year of dedication, one more year to a welcoming community, free of judgment, and with full hearts. And so, again, thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for joining us. And together, if we may read on page 5. May He, who blessed our fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, bless this entire holy congregation, together with all the holy congregations, them and their wives, their sons and their daughters, and all that belong to them. Those who establish synagogues for prayer, and those who come there to pray. Those who provide lights for illumination, wine for Kiddush and Havdalah, food for the wayfarers, and charity for the needy. And those who occupy themselves faithfully with communal affairs. May the Holy One, blessed be He, give them their reward, remove from them all sickness, heal their entire body, pardon all their sins, and send blessing and success to all of their endeavors, together with all Israel their brethren. And let us say, Amen.
It is my honor to call up to give us a word of greeting our wonderful and dedicated Orange County Executive, Steve Newhouse.
So it's an honor to be here. I tell you, when I first became a supervisor way back when, the rabbi and his wonderful wife, Hannah, were so welcoming to myself and my family. And I love catching up because whenever we catch up, the first thing I say is how's the families are, because I'm a little bit behind you, but I'm catching up to you. So, but it's a wonderful thing, and I think that's a wonderful thing that we share together. And I have to say that the Chabad of Orange County, the welcoming and the embracing you are to our community is something that's special. And I think Orange County would not be a wonderful place without you here. You do bring a lot of wonderful things to the table. So I'm happy to be here. To the Cohens and to the Goats and Eric, I thank you, the honorees. A lot of people, in our society today, you get used to seeing who's the most important person or who's doing the biggest thing by watching TV or seeing something in a newspaper. And quite often the people that deserve the most, the people that have the biggest impact are the people in our communities that do the most, that don't get the recognition, don't get the honor. So, we appreciate that. My biggest thing wherever I go, whether I'm dealing with politicians, which I don't like to do a lot, but when I'm dealing with young kids, whether it's in high school, elementary school, graduates of college, or just our fellow mankind, I say, what are you doing to make a difference? What are you doing to change the world? What are you doing that at the end of the day that you've said that you've changed someone's life for the better? And I think we can all agree today that the three honorees tonight, the two couples and Eric, of course, have done wonderful things to change and make a positive impact on our community. And those are the people that we talk about to each other as adults and that we tell our children to grow up to be like. So I'm honored to be here. Rabbi, you're the best. And I appreciate everything you do for our community, and keep growing your family. I'll try to do the same. God bless you all. Thank
Now let me tell you how I heard about Ethan Bortnick, our star guest performer tonight. When my son Davi was in Camp Gad Yisrael, Montreal, in the boondocks of Montreal last summer, we decided to make a mini vacation out of it, and we went to Mont Tremblant, and we spent a long weekend there. And when we got to the hotel, guess what there was in the hotel room? A TV. And guess what a rabbi does when he sees a TV in a hotel room and he doesn't have one at home? He turns it on. So unlike what Mr. Newhouse said, that we hire the people that we see on TV, I turned on the TV and I saw Ethan Bortnick. And I was like, wow, usually you start moving channels, and I was like stuck on that one when I see a young child prodigy playing the piano. I was absolutely blown away by what I saw. It was a PBS special, but it was the middle, I didn't even know what his name was. And I was like, I gotta see this, and I called Hannah, come check this out. We were very impressed. And then when it said his name, Ethan Bortnick, I wasn't familiar with the name, so I pulled out my phone and I consulted one of my dearest, most knowledgeable friends, Rabbi Google. And Rabbi Google told me that Ethan was a young Jewish boy who came from Florida, whose parents came from Russia, and he has a Yiddish a Yiddish flavor to some of his things. And I was like, wow, if we had someone like this playing at Orange County, but I'm sure it's just not going to be possible. 2 weeks later, after we're home, I got an email through the Chabad network, where there's different offers and different opportunities that arise. And Gene, who's Ethan's dad, is also his manager, sent out an email about certain dates that Ethan is going to be doing a world tour, and he was offering off dates to some Chabad centers to be able to do during that time. So we're like, okay, we're going to definitely try, and I'm sure it's not going to work out, I'm sure it's going to be too expensive, but we made him an offer he couldn't refuse. And here we are. So as an introduction to Ethan Bortnick, please look at your screen.
Yes, we do.
Money.
I just keep playing the keys. Come on and sing it with me. I just keep playing the keys. Come on and sing it with me. wonderful. That's it. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, one more time.
Bring it down to the floor. Go ahead down.
Well, the years went by, I just died. How many years must one man have before he can hear people cry? With a piece of rock so you're gonna play me a ringtone on your cell phone. You know, I'm very honored to be performing in very large concert halls, but I'm also very honored to support Chabad through my concerts and do concerts to support Chabad because to me it's amazing what Chabad does for the Jewish community and. As I kind of travel, in the past years we've been to Japan and Brazil and South Africa, all around the world, and all of those places have Chabad houses. And I mean, you go to a small town and you can't find a McDonald's, but you can find a Chabad house. I mean, seriously, it's amazing and. What they do to support the Jewish community and what they do to make you feel like you're just at home and for really bringing out our Jewish faith. So and I just wanted to thank you guys, Rabbi Pesach for throughout all the years and for inviting me here and I'm honored that I can do this. But as we continue, I want to introduce a very special person that we have here tonight. Now, Megan Heller is, she is a senior in high school. Now, she started Chabad, I believe, at 5, and she is a very dedicated Chabad volunteer, as you might know. She continues to support them and volunteer for them, and she's also a staff member at Camp Gun Israel, and now she's going to speak a little bit about what Chabad means to her. So, Megan.
Thank you, Ethan. Growing up with Chabad of Orange County has not only educated me about my religion, it has provided me with a platform of people that I get to share it with. Living in the town of Chester, which means having about 5 other Jewish kids in my school, I never really get the opportunity to express my faith, and because of that, I've always felt a disconnection with my peers. Going to Hebrew school every Sunday and Camp Gun Izzy every summer gave me the ability to get to know other kids just like me. After outgrowing these programs, I was introduced to Bat Mitzvah Club and more recently Teen Club, so the opportunity to form relationships with other Jewish teenagers continued. Through these programs, I've developed not only friendships that have lasted over a decade, but a sense of family. Ever since Rabbi Pesach and Hannah welcomed me to Chabad at about the age of 6, they made me, and I'm sure a lot of other people could agree, feel like a part of their own family. Because of their generous and understanding characters, I've never been afraid to ask questions about what it means to be Jewish and how I can better myself as I near adulthood. I hope future generations or children, including my own one day, get to grow up with Chabad and undergo the same experience that I have and realize its true meanings, pride and family. I want to thank you all, especially Rabbi Pesach and Hannah, for providing me with not only a Jewish community that I otherwise lacked, but for being my family and teaching me to be proud of who I am. Thank you.
I want to take a moment this evening to thank you all for coming and for all of you who made Chabad possible, not just this past year, but the past 12 years. I want to point out the journal that you have, the Playbill journal that we have. I think this is the first Chabad Playbill journal, by the way. Which lists a lot of the ads, greetings, and sponsorships that so many of you have helped make tonight possible, as well as Chabad possible. I feel really bad that we did omit an ad from Martin and Stacy Finkelstein, which they gave in honor of the honorees and in honor of the Getzes. Your ad was so big, it didn't fit in the journal. We also want to mention that we have, because Passover is coming up, we have a door prize for each and every one of you on your way out later. And I say later because we still have a whole set of Ethan. You haven't seen anything yet. There's still another part to come. But at the end, we do have a box of shmura matzah for you to have for your Passover Seder. So on your way out, right next to the pledge envelopes. Just figured I'd mention that. Chabad is a partnership organization. When you see events like these, when you walk into the doors of Chabad, it is an effort that comes together with so many people who are dedicated to making that possible. At Chabad, we do not believe so much in Jewish guilt, but we do believe in Jewish gelt. And the gala and the Chabad programs are made possible through the supporters like you, who share our goals and who want to see Chabad succeed. So thank you so much. We do have an open door policy. We never turn anyone away for celebrating their heritage, even for financial reasons. We never let finances get in the way of people coming into the doors, but good intentions alone do not pay the bills. And many ask me, so doesn't Chabad headquarters fund you? That's a big myth, and the absolute truth is that Chabad gives this much to Chabad centers in the United States, and by design. The idea is that a Chabad center is funded by the community, with the community together. And it is because of your generosity for tonight, and through the programs that we offer throughout the year, that Chabad's doors are able to remain open. So thank you so much for your support tonight and throughout the year. Thank you. This support comes through cover fees, tuitions, but they alone do not cover, and therefore it's the generosity of people at events like these. And also I would like to make mention of the Chai Club. The Chai Club is a group of dedicated people who give on a monthly basis from $18 and up. Some give $18, some give $1,800. But it's something on a monthly basis that helps keep Chabad going. So I thank all the Chai Club members here, and some of our honorees are also Chai Club members. So a special shout out to the Chai Club members. Chai means life, and you give the life force to Chabad to keep our doors open. Thank you so much. A special thanks to my family, my kids who put up with a lot that we have to do in order to be able to keep Chabad going, our wonderful and dedicated staff, our wonderful and dedicated board members, our volunteers, the teens who come on a weekly basis to help, our supporters, like many of them that are listed in the journal, and many of you who are sitting here tonight. Thank you. And a very special thank you to our honorees. Our honorees are 3 people, but we're really thanking the entire community vicariously through these 3 community members. And it is important that it's not always possible to thank each and every person at an event like this. So 3 people who represent different aspects of the community, as Hannah will talk about, we chose tonight to be able to honor. Hannah.
Lights, camera, action. Tonight we have 3 special honorees to call up. One is for lights, one is for camera, and one is for action, so stay tuned. So the show definitely can't go on without lighting. Lighting illuminates and brings life to the whole set and all aspects of the performance. Russ and Jody Cohen, please come on up. Russ and Jody Cohen have brought tremendous life to our lives, to Chabad, and to the entire community. They have lit up our lives as loyal friends from the time we came here, right in the beginning. They have been involved and encouraged us as we grew and brought many friends along. They opened their hearts and their home to Chabad, and we have been honored to educate their 2 wonderful boys, Maddie and Ben. Russ and Jody also bring light to the hundreds of children they have helped through their practice, Jumpstart Therapy. In fact, 2 of our own children are in the Jody Jumpstart fan club.
Welcome.
Russ and Jody are devoted parents who instill Jewish pride and tradition in their family and in their household. They are kind-hearted individuals, generous in spirit, and care deeply for everyone around them and the entire world. Russ will tell you all about stay green, green, clean, clean, green. We thank you so much, Jody and Russ, for lighting up Chabad, for lighting up the community, and may you continue to light up the world around you with all the special things you do. We're looking at the right kind of special gift we wanted, and we found something really special. These are actually 24-karat gold pieces of art made by Jerusalem artists in Jerusalem, in Israel. And each one of them is different for each special honoree. But this is the Jerusalem of gold. It says Yerushalayim, and I want to read you what we have on here for Jody and Russ. This is the Lamplighter Award, awarded to Russell and Jody Cohen. Your dedication and generosity spreads light and goodness in the community. Thank you so much, and you may be blessed and happy.
We also have certificates of appreciation from Senator Barnesick, as well as the Orange County Executive, and since he's here, we're going to have him present them to the co-eds.
The rabbi tells me to keep the budget tight, so otherwise we'd have a bigger plaque. But this is for the county, and this is for the state senate. I'll just pass one. There's one for everyone, as they say. And we do appreciate everything you do back to our community, so thank you so much.
All right. So when they say Russ, say a few words, it turns into a lot more than a few. And we read the flyer wrong when they said that someone was going to be performing on the piano. Jody and I prepared, and then all of a sudden he was up there, and we're like, all right, we're going to let him do it. So first of all, we'd like to say thank you to Han and Pesach, obviously. From the minute we moved into Brigadoon, we were sold on the idea that this was a great place to live, and within the first month we were there, on a Friday night or the Friday, there was on the doorstep a challah, and it was braided with like different colors and chocolate chips. I'm like, oh, does everyone get this with Brigadoon? I mean, this is the greatest place ever. And Joe's like, no, I met Hannah, and I just wanted to say thank you to you too, because you really go out of your way to make us feel very comfortable. So, I want to demonstrate their level of unconditional giving and caring. A few years ago, I tore my MCL, and the first person who was there on the doorstep the next day, a knock on the door, was Rabbi Pesach, and he was there to support me and gave me a book, Lessons of a Scraped Knee. I'll never forget that. And when I had some lifestyle changes in my dietary endeavors, Hannah went out of her way to make 3 different soups and was there to support me. They gave us all the recipe books, and you guys were really supportive. Help me! So when they first met Jody, I think what Rabbi said earlier about I always love the concept of the pintaliad. Yeah, so I think that's what Rabbi and Pesach and Hannah saw in Jody. This desire to learn and this desire to be curious about what's good. But then you met me, and you're like, hey, come to Kabbalah with the chicken soup, and after the 3rd meeting, you guys are like drinking. You're like, oh, he's coming back. What kind of questions are you going to ask tonight? I can't believe it. Should we move to Chabad of Sullivan? Should we change our name? So it's safe to say that I'm a work in progress. I'm still learning, but what I learned, what I think I've come to understand is what you guys did and what you saw was it wasn't about me or Jody. It was about our children, Matthew and Bennett. And at first I was not so sure about the Chabad message, but I was so 100% sure in you, and I wanted my kids to be around you guys. So that's what led us to, go down that road. It was an easy decision, and I think that you are doing something that I can't, and that maybe we can't. You're creating that. You're keeping that fire alive in them, and to learn where they've come from and the tribe that they belong to, and that's helped me to understand a little bit of. I've always struggled, where am I at with all of this, and what I think I've learned from all of this is that I belong to a tribe, I belong to a group of people, and I'm good with that, and I want to thank you guys for that. And in closing, no, I'm not even close to done. So we got the Lamplighter Award, and I want to say this because this is why I'm really up here, is that I'm the one talking, but the driving engine behind it all is my wife Jody. This is not something I have to sell. It comes easy to the tongue. When we moved in Brooklyn and we lived there, and you decided I want to start an agency to help children, I'm like, okay, it seems a little daunting, I'm not so sure, over and over and over, I'm not so sure, but you kept going and going, then we moved to Orange County, like, let's start one there, and what you've created and what I've been witness to is really, truly, as Steve Newhouse said, and which I really appreciate that, is that you, and not too many people get this recognition, you've built a network of healers and of helpers and of life changers, and there you've helped hundreds, if not thousands, of lives. Sorry. So not only, when we were in DT school, they used to call her Sunshine, the Lamplighter Award. She used to light up the room. So not only is she lighting up the community, and not at the expense of sounding corny, you're lighting up my life. I'm done.
Thank you so much.
It'd be so funny if I just fell down this stairs.
We've got Debbie doing something again over there. Russ and Jody, thank you. That was really beautiful and emotional. Coming back. And I'm huge fans of their kids, Maddie and Ben. In fact, in our last Gala Journal, we were looking for an example of a child we knew from the very beginning to one after 10 years. We found Maddie at Mommy and Me wearing, like a Latka costume or a Halla costume, and then we had him at his bar mitzvah. And then we look forward to their wedding. So we did lights. Now camera is an integral part of the show. We've got to get the right perspective. We've got to get the right lens and focus. And we have the Getzes. And I'm going to tell you how to Gil and Phyllis are one of the backbones of Chabad. Gil has used his wisdom, experience, and passion for the Torah to be our lens, to focus us as we embarked on this journey over all these years, and they guided us every step of the way. As our president, Gil has offered invaluable perspectives. He is also a president that comes along with many perks. He is king of the grill. He is the Chabad Hebrew School security guard. He is a famous Parsha reporter, among many more things. We also call them Bubby Phyllis and Baby Gil. Now, Bubby Phyllis's love and warmth has been felt every moment as well. She takes camera to the literal level and has provided us with some of the best snapshots of our Chabad events and some of the most precious memories of our own children and our own family. And that is the greatest gift. Both Gil and Phyllis have devoted tremendous amounts of time to volunteering in Chabad and volunteering their knowledge and creativity. They donate with generosity and love. They have been with us every step of the way. I also want to just say, and please you can record this, that if any of my children come out in any way spoiled, any iota, it is not my fault. It is completely Gil and Phyllis' fault. Please know that. The gifts, they come rolling in. We thank you, Gil and Phyllis, Bubby Phyllis, Baby Gil, all the different hats and many names we carry. You have been our camera. You have been our lens. And we really thank you and salute you for your incredible leadership. So I'd like to ask Gil and Phyllis to come up to receive the Leadership Award. With Jerusalem in the background, that is a blessing for a home. Leadership Award presented to Gil and Phyllis Getz. For your tremendous love, leadership, and support, may your lives be filled with blessings. And This is a blessing for a home, so we want your home to be continued to fill with light and laughter. You have your children, your beautiful granddaughters. Should we continue to have lots and lots of nachas from everybody?
And we don't need to repeat the certificates, but if you looked at the biography and the influence that Gil and Phyllis have given this county, we'd probably be here for 2 hours. But that's a wonderful thing to be able to have on your background, to be able to have touch that many people from the medical corps for the county and all the other people that you've touched. A wonderful. I'm really honored to be here with all of you. Your wife. Okay, go.
A smile for the camera. There we go.
Speaking of camera.
Business while we're here. We can do that, right?
So folks, it's really great to see so many of you here this evening. My wonderful family here, my 2 sons, my daughter-in-law, my sister, come to join us in the celebration. Think back 12 years ago when we started. Did a lot of research on you, you know. Because we're not halfway people. When Phyllis and I commit to projects or organizations, we go all the way in. We go all in. We like to do it that way. So I researched Chabad, I researched the rabbi. We said, this is pretty good stuff. So we're gonna go forward. And I'd like to thank everybody here, my family, my wife, of course, and Pesach and Hannah. It's been a great ride. Hope it continues for a good long time. And again, we welcome the opportunity to serve the community, the Jewish community, the folks in this room, and our extended family beyond. Thank you very much.
I'm just listening if the First Lady say a word to you.
Okay.
Women's rights.
Well, I just wanted to paraphrase. A thought came to me while we were going through this beautiful evening, that we've lived in Monroe for about close to 40 years now. And to paraphrase a line from, I recently heard a West Side Story version, and one of the lines in one of the songs is, the world was just an address. Well, I say Monroe was just an address, a place for me to live in until Chabad came here. And now I have I'm so blessed to have all of you in our lives.
And finally, action. It's the action that the audience is waiting for. And in fact, Hasidic doctrine teaches Hamaisa hu ha'ikar, that action, a deed, is the main thing. When we take action and do something positive, it brings actual change to the world, and it changes our soul, and it improves things. The award of Tikkun Olam goes to someone very special who takes action to improve the world. Eric Mulrad is an inspiration to the idea of Tikkun Olam. Eric suffered a spinal cord injury at age 16. He overcame unbelievable obstacles. And he teaches us that it's not enough to just survive. We have to thrive. Rather than saying we are victims of circumstances, he has overcome all of these challenges and is a definition of Tikkun Olam. Gets out of bed every morning, lives an amazing independent life, travels, which is one of his passions, runs successful businesses. He's the owner of Sports Fitness and Fun, and he's the president of CCT Cable, vice president of new business development for Remy Wire and Cable, extremely successful in so many ways. Eric is also a proud member of the Chai Club. Gives him much addition to Chabad. Eric, I'm going to quote Ethan on this one, that you teach us that anything is possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to all give a standing ovation as we welcome Eric Mulred and honor him tonight.
We present to you this award, the Tikkun Olam Award, and it says, presented to Eric Mulred, you are an inspiration to the mandate of Tikkun Olam, demonstrating that we are not victims of the world, but masters tasked to improve it.
I have the honor of knowing Eric, and we made a deal before we came in here today. I go to his place of business to hide out, and I look like a basketball coach. You're like, who's this guy in the suit at the gym? And I'm watching my daughter do gymnastics, so we made a deal that you can come to my office and hide out so we can get some peace. Congratulations.
Take a picture with the...
Sure, I'll go on the side.
We got the photographer here?
I'm right here.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Eric Mulred.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Takana, for the wonderful award. You know, one word when you phoned me about this is you said that I was an inspiration. And that's been a common theme since I had my accident. People think I'm an inspiration. To me, I don't think that way. I live my life, I do what I need to do. What you guys do, that's the true inspiration. Everybody here is close to God. That's the inspiration. That's what really brings us together. So I thank you for the honor, but it's having people like you that really matter and make me inspirational. So thank you.
Well, as Eric personifies the idea of Tikkun Olam, Judaism teaches us the idea that Tikkun Olam, we are tasked to perfect the world. In fact, the Torah teaches us that we are the world.
There comes a time when we hear the sound
I also want to give a shout out to Ethan's father, Gene, who's in the back of the room. He's been an absolute pleasure to work with. We've been working with him since August to make today happen. Gene, I worked with a lot of people, as I told you. You're an absolute pleasure to work with, so thank you so much.
It's our honor.
And Chuck, our sound engineer back there, thank you so much. And the Sugarloaf Performing Arts Center for hosting the event and for taking our money. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for coming tonight. You might think that we filled up a room, and yeah, Chabad fills up a room, but each and every one of you who came here means a tremendous amount to us, and it means so much to us that each and every one of you had come to join us today. Thank you so much for joining. We also want to thank again our Chabad staff and our volunteers. Yitzchak Oliel and Deco Reel for the party planning and the catering for tonight. Wonderful job. Anybody who thought that the little desserts that we passed around before were dessert? No, that was the appetizer for dessert. We invite everybody into the gallery for a dessert buffet, and during that time you'll be able to get your playbill signed by Ethan for only a $360 donation to Chabad. Actually, I'm kidding. $500 donation to Chabad. Ethan is also going to be selling some of his media. You're welcome to purchase. Thank you so much to all those who helped make tonight possible. Alex, our photographer, for capturing our moment. Molly Leader, Mailway, Impacting Image. And a wonderful shout out to my friends and family, our friends and family, who have come from near and far, and Duffy's friends who have come for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Please join us for a dessert reception in the gallery. Do not forget to take your matzah on your way out with the pledge card. Thank you.